Mongolia is a pretty country. That would be if I wanted to travel to Asia, Japan would be neat because of how many people there are and all their cool vending machines and technology. And then Mongolia seems almost like untouched.
Taylor,
There's only
they'll
like
mail
4
used
million
panties
people.
right to you. You don't have to go to Japan find a vending machine.
No, I do.
Okay.
I have to go. It's probably like it's like seafood on the coast. It's just better. Like that's what you get. You get fresh Japanese panties right out of the vending machine, and then afterward you get yourself a Sprite Zero Chill.
I struggled with the exchange rate in Japan. I should have just put a minute into it so that I knew how much I was spending all along. But the exchange rate is like 33,000 to 1 or 16,000 to 1. I don't know. It's something you don't bump into all the time. So you get your bill for like hotel omelet and it's 66,000 yen. And you're like, I don't know. I haven't paid 66,000 anything for a while. Is this even a lot? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was.
It was still was. That's a funny like realization in the lobby where they're like, "Oh no, sir, yeah, exchange rate is 8,000 yen to $1," and you're like, "Oh, these are some expensive eggs." Like
$37 for the buffet now.
Is that 2 eggs? It's just 2, right? Oh my! I remember
Japanese eggs.
The last time I was in a casino, I was so assaulted by the prices that when I finally got out of there and got to the gas station down the street and bought like coffee for the morning, I was shocked that I got change from my 20. I was like, really? You told me that coffee was $2. You're crazy. I just paid $18 for oatmeal. Like you don't even know. You don't even know what they do to you up the street.
Can you tell me, does Vegas do the opposite? Because I told they are that like lobster and steak dinners are $7.
So no, I don't know anything about
drinks
that.
are free,
so
right?
if you were on some sort of fucking like being taken care of the casino thing, maybe, but the buffet is like, and this is like years ago, like 8 years ago, the buffet was like $70 to $100, and it would, but it's like the best buffet ever. It's like all you can eat filet mignon and lobster, and then everything that goes with that. I love the buffets. Like you can go online and look up reviews for the best buffets in Vegas or the best, and there'll be a top 10 list of heavy hitters, and every one of them is amazing. And some of them are cheaper than
like unlimited food, good food, and you're like, what kind of vacation focuses on the meals? And then you do it, and you're like, now I get it. Yeah, that cruise ship food is top notch.
Yeah, I watch one of those travel channels where he will go to like Thailand and he'll find maybe the cheapest. Oh, he did the cheapest buffet in town and then the most expensive buffet in town. And the cheapest buffet was awesome. He's like, you give these people 78 cents and you get this bowl and you do whatever you want. And it was like outside on a street corner, but it was just so much food for 79 cents or whatever it was. And then the other one that was like a couple $100 was 5-star dining, really fancy schmancy and cool too.
Shit like that, if you don't speak the language or know the culture, is dangerous. Like I was getting smoothies in Mexico, and I'm like, oh, that fucking red one looks dope. We all know what red icy things taste like. It's delicious and filled with sugar, right? No, it's made with beets, and it's like good for you. It's awful. And I'm just getting surprised at Mexican food, some being great, some being terrible left and right.
Yeah, dude, I was surprised that you wanted to go down to Mexico, out into the wilderness there. Like Mexico to me is one of those countries where you stay on the beaten path. Like when Taylor went to Jamaica, or when people go to Costa Rica or somewhere like that, it's like, yeah, we stay at the resort though. We don't go outside of it. It's it's an impoverished nation, right?
I collect life experiences like that. One of my highlights from that whole trip, like it wasn't the flying. I enjoyed my time with friends and stuff, but I was tired. I was hiking. It was about 8,000 feet altitude in this part of Mexico. And I had just gone like 2.5, 3.5 hours through the woods with my wing and all this like shit on me. And I didn't have enough water. I was out of water at this point. And this dude pulls up with 3 passengers on his motorcycle. It was his wife, his son, and then his infant child.
What the fuck?
And he's like, you need a ride? And I'm like, I feel bad. Like with your wife, son, and infant just like standing and
drag me.
He's like, they can wait. So they all get off the bike and wait in the woods in a dirt road while he takes me to a place where I'll bump into like taxis and stuff. A more populated.
That guy never went back.
Nope. He was kidnapping those people.
Yeah, I tipped him. It wasn't like a tremendous. It was like $25 or something.
That's fair. Damn, that's a year's salary,
dude. 25. Like, I bet it fed his whole family that night. Like, I bet that's what they were hoping for.
Oh yeah, that buys a lot of Taco Bell.
What my wing packing team was telling me, this is the way to the taxi. I'm a little suspicious that they're right, but I don't have any phone signal, so it's the best information I have.
I was hiking.
You're just trying to figure it out. No phone signal. Little Oscar just kind of pointed in a direction. And you're like, Oscar, I need you to understand this. Me llamo es Mateo.
Okay, so this is awesome. He stopped. He saw me walking.
Look at that vein.
Give me a right face. Don't know what he said.
Please do not hurt my family.
Run away.
I will take you anywhere you want to go. Please do not hurt my family, sir.
Woody, can you also please send the one of you in the back or in the truck?
There's hay on my face.
Okay, I've once again secured a ride.
Look at the vein.
He thinks there might be a taxi.
Oh no!
Flying.
I really wish also in the truck were sad workers.
Yeah. So the guy in the passenger seat spoke English, and the driver, who was the boss, did not. So I was talking to the passenger, and he's like, I think he was telling me to throw my gear in the back, or I don't understand. But I climb in the back, and he's like, okay, or that. And,
or that. I can get a rotisserie chicken here for like $9 now, right? Do you guys ever get those? Do you ever go into a store and buy nothing but a rotisserie chicken?
I'll order
you feel like you're outsmarting the system, because I've said before that's a lost leader product. No one makes money on those.
I get them delivered.
You go in. Oh well, you're already paying through the nose probably.
No, it's still a good deal. Like every now and then it'll work out where they're giving some sort of like spend 20 and get $10 off, and it's like, wait, are you just giving me free food? It just. But the chickens are always the way to go. I'll take those and make soups and stuff like that. I love those rotisserie chickens. They're $6 at the grocery store right next to me, though.
Oh, damn. Yours are even cheaper.
That's how you avoid that like shrinkflation of fast food places, is go and get lunch at like a Publix deli. And it'll be, you can get like 20 hot wings and a big gigantic fry for $8 or something like that. It's still cheap at the grocery store.
That is interesting that like that's what you see so many people concerned with that, of all things. Like they're not even talking, like their first example of inflation isn't like, hey, look at the stuff at the store. The stuff at the store is getting pretty fucking wild, especially in the meat section, which it is. They'll be like, this meal was $4.99 in 2017 at Taco Bell. Now it's $11.29. And it's like, okay, like I got a real good first tip. Don't eat at Taco Bell as like a regular occurrence. Like that's already like fast food is like not cheaper than just buying stuff at the store.
It used to be.
It used to be like, oh, one of the reasons poor people are fat is that poor people food is cheap but fattening. Now McDonald's is expensive.
Yeah, now it's like McDonald's is so pricey. How about you just go buy some overpriced meat at the store? It's gonna get you more meals than just the one at McDonald's. The
way milk is priced at my local store is so infuriating. So I think it was like you get like a pint of milk for like $1.60, and I was like, okay, that seems reasonable. But then you could get a half a gallon of milk for $3.20, and I was like, oh, so much more milk. That's four pints. But then you get a whole gallon for $3.80. And it's like, I don't want a whole gallon. It's gonna go bad, but I'm not leaving half a gallon for 60 more cents on the table. So yeah, I guess I'll take a gallon. But then if you want the fancy schmancy milk, if you want the grass-fed milk, then the half gallon that's got like the pretty cow on it that looks like
glass bottle.
Yeah, they $14 a gallon. It's $14 a gallon.
Oh yeah, dude, the fancy man milk is so expensive. And
that's a little much.
The fancy man eggs, they are getting bold with with the fancy man egg prices. Like if you want like the regular white jumbo eggs, it's like $2 or $3 for like a dozen of them, probably like 3 or so. If you want like the brown, like, hey, our selling point is that we don't actively poison chickens right beforehand. Like it's slightly healthier. It's like $7.
I'm scared to ask what my milk costs. I'm gonna find
I get the
I'm gonna ask what my milk costs.
The Nellies. I think the eggs are called Nellies. I think that's the brand. Those are brown cage-free eggs. But yeah, they're like $7 or $8 for a dozen. But when I saw that a half a gallon of milk half a gallon of milk was $7 or $7.50 or something, and I was like, this
is scaring me. We buy the fanciest of fancy milk that comes in half-gallon glass jars and is delivered by a milkman to a cooler that they provided for us. She read it. I don't know.
There's one guy.
She types back. It costs what it costs.
If you told me it was $18 per half gallon,
I love it. She replied back, "Honey, we can afford milk. Don't worry about the milk."
You let me worry about milk.
She's not writing back.
Left me on red.
She just left you on red. What if you like see like a series of ellipses for like 5 minutes and then just disappear?
There's no ellipses, no nothing. She's like,
Let's guess.
Well, I called our accountant.
How much do you think Woody's fancy milk costs per gallon? I'm gonna guess it's $10 a gallon.
I'll say.
No, it's got to be no. I'm saying 15. I'm saying 15.
Okay, I'm saying 14.
Half. Okay, yeah, I bet it's $7.50 per half gallon glass jar or whatever the fuck.
I want to say like
if she replies. I just heard her let the dogs out. Like she's moved on to other things.
Oh, she ran. She ran for it.
She's looking at it like this fucking guy with his
questions lately.
She's gonna be like, "How much is a Honda Goldwing?" She said $4.58. It's probably a half gallon. That's less than I expected.
Is that by the ounce? Like, because Oberweis, which is like the glass one we have here, the half gallons are probably $9, like $8.99, $9, which is a lot. Like you better love milk if you're paying.
Does it come in the multiple flavors too? Because the Sprouts near me has like, it's either Sprouts or Whole Foods has the glass half gallons of strawberry chocolate, vanilla milk, custard, and then milk.
I bet they do have it. I rarely buy milk. Every time I remember and I do get milk like twice a year, I'm always like, oh man, I love milk. This is great. And then I forget about it again. And I go back to sparkling fancy man water.
This is what we pay. $2.58 for a half gallon. It's $4.58, but $2 of that is the glass bottle that we get refunded when
That's crazy. That's cheaper than the cheapest milk at the store.
Well, I won't fuss. All right.
Yeah. Damn. Maybe you got grandfathered in.
That's possible.
The old milk price. Like you having a milkman makes me imagine like one guy in his little outfit coming.
White outfit, got the hat.
Yeah, he's got the white outfit.
He might be that guy. I know his truck is all milkmaned out. Like it's not some random box truck. It's got cows on it and shit.
Every single day he's sitting down in his little house with his wife, his little life, and he's like, and Lord, I pray that you help my children off at school and that you once again bless the Woodworth household. His podcast or whatever he does going strong, Lord. I can't lose my last client.
We like that guy. They have fancy pants, soft pretzels. Soft pretzels are not a major part of my diet, but after this show, every single week I have a standing order for soft pretzels to be ready for me when I come downstairs. And now we're on like gourmet soft pretzels that the milkman brings us.
How are we 10 years into this? And we just
what is like night? That's why he'll be like, guys, can we wrap the show up? I got pretzels waiting.
I do. Yeah.
My pretzels are getting hard on the counter down there.
She's got some spicy mustard, that she puts upside down for me, so it's ready to go.
Nobody wants a fucking stale pretzel, boys. I gotta go.
That's so funny. That's a standing order for and that's a great treat. I love a nice soft pretzel. It beats the shit out of hard pretzels.
I want you to come over because I'm gonna show you when you're like, I like soft pretzels, then you try my fucking soft pretzels, you'll be an addict. You'll be like, charcuterie boards, scooch aside, baby.
Well, you can fuse both.
Yeah, that doesn't have to be a winner.
A lot of meats, a lot of bread, just fuel you up for the next day's workout. Man, I haven't had a stuffed pretzel in I genuinely can't remember the last time. It had to be like a theme park or not even a movie. I don't think I get those at movies.
I don't like them.
Yes, you do. You liar.
Who just likes soft pretzels?
They're all bread and salt.
They're all bread and salt, and they're hot, and they're like crispy.
And the mustard's good too.
Yeah, I like the mustard. I don't have any post show rituals or anything. I just usually try to make my brain stop hurting and lie in a dark room with a towel on my head.
That would be so funny if you're like, you get the vapors after every show just because you're so tired from sitting here talking.
It's not even tired. It's just kind of like wired up too, because I feel like I've just been kind of focusing for 4 hours to some extent or another, and I'm just want to not do that anymore.
I feel you. That's why I wind down after the show with the most stressful video game imaginable.
What game do you play?
Don't worry about it. You haven't heard of it.
Oh, cool. I figured probably not.
Yeah, man. I want to. Who do you even call about getting a pretzel or a soft pretzel delivered to you? I've been on DoorDash many a time, and I've never seen a pretzel place. I've seen cookie places.
Ask your milkman. That's what I do.
I'll have to ask my milkman. I'm gonna have to stop the ice cream man and inquire about his Rolodex of antiquated professions. Yeah,
I'll just ask my travel agent.
You're a milkman and a pretzel boy, and you treat women for hysteria with your magic fingers on the that way.
I make wagon wheels.
Yeah, I'd love a nice antiquated snack. What a great job. Do you think that was
milkman?
No, I mean back in the day, like when you could afford to raise a family on those jobs where it's like you were just a regular postman or you delivered milk.
Can you still do that on a post office salary?
You can on a Amazon driver, FedEx delivery. I think they.
You saw that. Well. You saw that thing the other day. It was like how much money you needed in each state to raise a family, and it was like $200,000 a year minimum or something like
they've kind of priced out the vast majority of single income households.
Those don't exist anymore.
Yeah,
there's 3 companies that own those. 3 companies own 70% of the households in America or something.
Yeah, I don't like it. Oh, I've read about it, the BlackRock stuff.
I don't know what the bigger, when you go high enough, there's only 12 companies on the planet or some shit. But there's
he's not too far off.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's crazy how if you just look in the defense contractors, because I watch a lot of stuff about the production of old fighter planes, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and stuff like that. And it's like, oh yeah, that company. Why don't they make planes anymore? And it's because they're all 3 companies now. All of those companies became 3 or 4 companies. All those plane manufacturers just gobbled each other up. And that can't be better.
Yeah.
I can't name them, but a lot of the consumer goods are like that too. I know Taylor, it's stuck in his head in there. Taylor, who owns Kellogg's at the top? Do you know?
Procter & Gamble?
Yes, Procter & Gamble. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know, one company makes
Johnson & Johnson.
So many paper goods. And you think, oh, paper, I don't even use paper anymore. Yeah, you do. All your stuff comes wrapped in it. Your toilet paper, your paper towels, and you buy
everything's made of oil too. I hate people who are anti-oil. I hate those fuckers who glue themselves to highways. And have you seen that thing where they take a piece of PVC, they take a 6-inch PVC pipe and they stick their arm in one side and they handcuff it. And then the cuff goes through the other side to another man, and he handcuffs it. So now the chain is in a pipe, so you can't just walk up and clip it. So now, and then they all do it. They make a chain of these fuckers. Oh, I wish someone would hit the one in the middle with a truck and drag them all to their doom. Everything is made of oil. Everything in front of you is made of oil. Plastic is oil. That's what we make plastic out of. It's a petroleum product. I mean, I'm looking in front of me, and this is all oil. Paint is oil. All those electronics, oil is in them. It's a part of everything.
Wouldn't part of you like if, like, we still had that oldie time where like everything came in glass? Now it's to the point where like when something comes in glass, I'm like, oh, this is.
I'm glad you brought up glass because recycling's fake too. We don't recycle.
I picture Polish people, French people, and Italian people not being fat, whereas I picture like the United Kingdom probably being the fat of Europe, which still makes them like marathon runners compared to us.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I wouldn't be surprised if the UK is fatter than us. There's a lot less.
No way. There's no way.
We're not as fat as we used to be. We're getting all these spry brown people flooding in. I mean,
from Mexico?
joining. Yeah.
Mexico's the
you have to understand.
Taylor, no, that's the Biden take on it, Woody, from Mexico.
Yeah,
well,
Taylor,
the
Mexicans we're getting have just walked 1,000 miles. They're thin and they're fit.
They're not sending their thinnest. They're sending big fat retards.
they're sending fucking black people from coastal regions who are fucking spry. Whenever they go to the border and they start interviewing the actual migrants and seeing where they're from, it's so rarely Mexico. The Mexicans are already here. All the Mexicans that wanted to come came already. It's places way further south, or just Europe, Africa, or the Middle East.
Actually, that's a good point. I'm looking at this graph here, Global Obesity Observatory, and Africa is thin.
Can you make it bigger, Zach, please?
Actually, as with all these graphs, Africa just has nobody collecting the data, so that's probably what it actually is.
I love that. I love that.
Dude,
we don't even.
I would believe anything you told me. If you said they were all like giant fat people built like Buddha sitting on thrones, I'd be like, yes, that ties in with my expectation. If you told me they were rail thin, starving with bugs on their eyeballs, I'd be like, yeah, I've seen that too.
I've seen that. I've seen the sad videos that somehow would just inexplicably make it in between two weird shows on Adult Swim. It's like, what's this doing going on? What's going on here? Okay, so we're not actually number one, but there's a caveat here. It's because like the top 9 are all tiny little Samoan nations. Like it's all the Samoas. So if we pull them out of the count, the United States is 10, and then Qatar.
But what are we ranking?
This is
BMI.
percent obese by country, and it is the Global Obesity Observatory, and they're very easy to observe. Let's see. There's the observatory. Just one weirdo.
It's just assholes with a megaphone yelling at people.
And Whale Watchers rolls off the tongue so much better.
You know, I don't know if this is reliable because it goes against some of my preconceived notions. And so Croatia's fat? Say it ain't so. I figured they'd be fit. Poland, they're fatter than Canada. Libya is fatter than the United Kingdom. Yeah, they need to. I don't know who's funding this. Let's see who's at the
George
bottom.
Soros, no doubt.
This is funded undoubtedly by Big Ethiopia because they're down there at 200 with purportedly 1.1% of their country being fat. Which
I mean, that makes sense. They're very hungry there.
Vietnam, very thin country. I buy that. India, only 5% of them are big fat people.
Ethiopia holding it down as the skinniest country. Who saw that coming?
I didn't. I figured it'd be somewhere in that corner.
You would think Mogadishu, honestly, because they have like famines there.
Yeah. Well, that's just Mogadishu is just the capital of Somalia, right?
Oh, it's got to be the Palestinians. They're the skinniest people in the world. I saw a kid today that had starved to death in Palestine, and he was so thin, dude.